Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today is November 24th, which means tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And for some of you it's woohoo, Thanksgiving. And for some of us it's woo, Thanksgiving. I'll go to my in-laws, there'll be food. I'll come home, I'll watch football. Go Cowboys! And that'll be that. Today I wanted to talk about the evolution of my grimoire. There's hundreds and thousands of videos on YouTube about what a book of shadows or grimoire is, how to make one, what goes in one, and I can't add anything to that conversation that you don't already know. Just go to the search bar and type in book of shadows and you'll see tons of videos. Same thing for grimoire. So I thought it would be fun to show you the evolution of mine, where I started and where we are today. But first, my husband made a really cool discovery in the yard the other day, and I want to show you guys. So I'm going to take you outside, and then we'll come back, and I will show you the evolution of my grimoire. So this area right here, now listen to that wind. My husband went to go push this further back and closer into the river, and we can't move it now because it is full of turtle eggs. I'm so excited. I won't get to see them hatch because I don't know when they were placed there, but turtle eggs. See? Turtle eggs. So today was going to be a kind of a craft along with me, and I was going to make a couple pages for my grimoire, but I have arthritis in my thumbs, and holding a pen or scissors today is just not an option. Hair's pulled back too because doing the hair was not an option. But I still wanted to do a video. So here we are, and I thought I would show you where my Book of Shadows grimoire started and where I'm at now. And I guess just jump right in. I started with something kind of like this, not this one. The one I had was a smidge bigger and it has roses all over it. It's somewhere in the house. I don't get rid of anything, so I know I have it somewhere in the house. Had a little lock and key, like a little diary. And I was going to write down all my spells that I did in there. I think I did 2 pages, and that was the last time I wrote anything down in that one. Now it's got doodles and scribbles and little notes, but no spells, no rituals, no information. So that didn't last. Then when I was working at AC Moore, I bought one of those black sketch pad art pads, hard-covered, and I was going to write everything in metallic gel pen in different colors, and it was going to be all beautiful, and I was going to use my best handwriting, and I took a piece of lined paper and put it underneath the page so I could write straight and not be all crazy. And then I started writing out the Wiccan Read, the long version, by hand. That ended real quick. That book, that's as far as I got, and I put it away. Then I said, oh, I know, scrapbooking. I'll use a scrapbook as I can move things around, and if I make a mistake, I can just use a new piece of paper. I don't have to worry about messing up in the book. Rubber stamps and stickers and different paper. Didn't make a page. Bought a bunch of stuff to do it. Didn't make a page. Then I got a computer. I got the internet. I discovered, different chat groups and boards and pictures of crystals and all kinds of witchcraft information. So I would print it up and I would put it in a folder like this with the little posts, the little posts. And I had different colors for different things. Had no idea that, in a sense, that was a grimoire of Book of Shadows, because I had one for crystals, one for herbs, one for divination, one for witchcrafts, like how to make colored flame candles. I had one where I kept the newsletters I got from the local witchy shop, and didn't know that that's what that was. I was just keeping information about stuff. And someday I was going to put it in an actual book. I kind of still wish I had all the folders, all the stuff from those folders. Then YouTube came along, and I started looking at all the stuff I could find on YouTube, witchcraft related. And I started looking up books of shadows. I mean, they had one in Practical Magic, they must exist. And you could find tons of videos about the Charmed Book of Shadows, the Practical Magic Book of Shadows, all the fancy schmancy artsy pages that people were making because they were inspired by these same books as I was. And then you do a search and you find Brahms Bookworks, and you're like, you start drooling over those books, or Lapulia books, and you're like, oh my God, these are so gorgeous. But they're hundreds, if not thousands of dollars sometimes. And single income household, just buy a house. We were not buying a book of shadows of that caliber. So I bought a binder, 3-ring binder, plastic protector sheets. It's easy to move things around. If you mess something up, you just grab a new page and start all over. I covered mine obviously in crushed velvet. Loved this book. Lasted me about 3 months. Then it was too full. I couldn't fit anything else in it because I went crazy typing and printing everything, or copying and pasting and printing everything, adding pictures. And this one is a witch's magic kitchen, and they're all pretty and arty, and ran out of room. Enter Amazon, and I buy this one. My 4-inch spring post bound dream of a book. It's got the maneuverability of a 3-ring binder. It looks more like a book when you open it, of a post-bound book. It was perfect. It still is. I covered it in purple faux suede. It's got wax on it. I used this book a lot. But it was still not the dream book. So 8 years ago, maybe, I made the dream book. I made the Practical Magic inspired trifold book. Both sides post-bound, so I can move things around like I want. Love the idea of this book, but it just wasn't practical. So everything came out of this book and went back into this book, which, after making this one, realized that this was the book. I actually felt guilty moving stuff out of this book. I still do. So then, for the last few years, I've developed arthritis in the big parts of my thumbs, making it hard sometimes to hold things that are heavy. Like all of a sudden my hand will just let go. So this, as much as I love it, and I do still love it, it's too big and heavy to be manageable. I could leave it as is. Well, not now because I took stuff out. And just keep it sitting on a table. That would work most of the time. But I decided, since I had this 3-inch one, to move everything into the 3-inch and get rid of all the extra stuff that I didn't need. The pretty artsy pages that can go into the other book as an art project. I took all that out. All the stuff that was not information. And it all fits in a 3-inch. But it's still incredibly heavy and very cumbersome. And even just that is painful. So I'm thinking, as much as I love the big one, and there's a part of me that's being pulled to put everything back in the big one and leave it alone, I'm also thinking it would be practical to separate this into 2 books. All of this stuff in the front, which accounts for the bulk of the weight, because it's 2 pages per plastic sheet. And the plastic sheets are add the weight. I'm thinking of taking the plastic protected sheets and putting them in one book, and then taking the scrapbook, handwritten, pages in the back, and putting them in their own book. Still torn. Not sure. There is, like I said, there's a part of me that's being pulled to just put it all back in this book. And I might do that and then just leave it on a table and see what happens in another 6 months or so. If I still feel like I need to separate it into 2 books, do that. Because there's a part of me that feels guilty having taken all of this stuff out of this book and putting it into this book. Because this one's been through a lot with me. So I think I might have answered my own question. But tell me what you think. Should I move it all back in for a little while longer and see how it goes, just leaving it set up on a table? Should I break it up into 2 separate books? Or should I just cover the 3-inch and maybe leave the 3-inch on a table? Those are my choices. I don't know what to do. I think I know what to do. So I think I am just going to move them over. But tell me, what would you do? Would you break it up into 2 books? Or would you move it all back into the other book and see how it works for a little while longer? That's, I guess, about it today. If you sat through all this rambling, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday, however you decide to celebrate or not celebrate. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this one. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd love to have you come back. Have a great day. Cheers. Bye. Could be iced tea, could be wine. I'll never tell.